days to go until the last day to vote in California's primary. Congresswoman Katie Porter, as we know, is running for the U.S. Senate. That means she's not running for her U.S. House seat. And the battle to win that seat is one of the most competitive in the country. 4 top contenders are looking to make it past the March 5th primary in recent days. We've spoken with Republicans Max Ukropina and Scott Baugh and Democrat Joanna Weiss. Tonight, we wrap up our series with California State Senator Dave Min, a Democrat. Nice to have you here. Welcome.
Thanks so much for having me, Alex.
So we asked everybody the same question. For voters that are not that familiar with you, who are you and why should they choose you?
Fantastic. Well, first, I'm a state senator representing the same area, but I'm not someone who's been in politics that long. And I decided to get in politics because I wanted to give back. I'm really the embodiment of the American dream. My parents were Korean immigrants. They grew up during the Korean War, and growing up, my brother and I were always reminded that but for the sacrifice of 37,000 American troops fighting a long time ago for freedom and democracy, my parents never would have had the opportunities they had, and I wouldn't be here in front of you today. And so I've spent my career trying to give back. I was a year behind Katie Porter at Harvard Law School. My very first job at a law school was at the Securities and Exchange Commission as a federal prosecutor. I turned down Wall Street to crack down on corporate fraud. Went on from there to serve for Senator Schumer as a senior policy advisor around economic issues before getting an amazing job offer to come back home to California to teach at UC Irvine at a brand new law school that had opened up. My wife's still there. She runs a domestic violence clinic and is a thought leader in that place. And honestly, I didn't think I'd ever be in politics. A few years ago, I was at the top of my field. I had 3 young kids. They're in public school right now. And I testified 6 times before Congress. But obviously we're facing a tough time in this country, and I wanted to be the change that I wanted to see. So I ran for the state Senate, flipped a seat blue that had never been held by a Democrat. And in the state Senate, I'm proud to say that I've been a leader, a champion on women's reproductive rights, on gun violence prevention, and on climate rescue. And I'm also the only Democrat in this race who has the endorsement of Katie Porter, the Democratic Party, and who has a 100% rating from Planned Parenthood.
An endorsement from the LA Times as well. And I know you had run against Katie Porter for the seat the last time, and clearly that race, you were close enough together that she ended up endorsing you. The race a little nastier this time around. Joanna Weiss is who you're running against. She spent a whole lot of money, and her backers, including AIPAC, has spent a lot of money on talking about you and the fact that you had a DUI. We've seen those ads all over the place. Do you want to respond to that, and also why you think that you're the better choice than her?
Yeah, look, and I think this comes down to values. And first, I just want to address the DUI. I'm so sorry that happened. It was a singular mistake of its kind. It was the worst mistake of my life, and it will never happen again. But I also just want to say there's clear differences in this race, and you can see it in the campaigns that we're choosing to run. I have chosen to run a positive campaign focused on my record of public service, accomplishments, and values. Joanna Weiss, on the other hand, unfortunately has chosen to run a 100% negative campaign that is singularly focused on attacking me. And the real question is, and this is another reflection of our values, where is that money coming from? Because my campaign is funded entirely by individuals and labor. And I have taken $0 from corporate PACs. I am not self-funding. Joanna Weiss, on the other hand, is self-funding her campaign with a personal fortune made off of busting labor unions and defending the Catholic Church in its child molestation and sex abuse cases in Orange County. She's also taken over $40,000 from MAGA Republicans, even as she's running as a Democrat. And of course, these IEs that you're seeing, these massive expenditures, are also being funded by those same MAGA Republicans, over $5 million. So I think the question that viewers need to ask themselves is, where is this money coming from? Who is Joanna Weiss? And why are MAGA Republicans so hell-bent on helping Joanna Weiss?
And of course, independent expenditures by nature means you can't coordinate with the campaign, so she's not legally allowed to coordinate with the campaign. We've asked everybody about the issue of immigration, which is going to be a big issue in the fall in this race. What's the most important thing the U.S. can do right now when it comes to the crisis at the border?
Well, first, we have to control our border security, and it was disappointing to see Republicans turn down a deal to really heighten and strengthen border security. At the same time, we need to be smart about the 10 million plus undocumented immigrants that are actually in the United States right now. My wife pointed this out to me about a decade ago, but if you install ICE agents at police stations and doctors' offices and hospitals, what you're saying is that undocumented immigrants should not get medical care or report crimes. That's not good for us. It's not good for them. It's bad for society. I've lived long enough to see Republicans and Democrats ignore undocumented immigration for the benefit of business. This is not a Democrat or Republican problem. It goes back my entire life. We have to address this humanely and practically.
Dave Min, thank you for sharing your views. Appreciate you coming in.
Really appreciate you.
So we now heard from them all. You can watch those interviews on my YouTube page. And remember, the last day to vote is March 5th. Marla.